welcome back to Robot Wars and a heat with utter wanton destruction guaranteed. Don't go anywhere, folks, because the carnage is going to be absolutely brutal. So let's take a look at the lineup and see who's in for a bruising this week. As always, the two-seeded machines in the heat with the higher seed in the first preliminary battle, the lower seed in the third. Not this time around, though. Take a look at this. Chaos 2, seed number 8. Haven't fully repaired themselves after their encounter with Endgame in the Vengeance Special. They took a lot of damage in that, don't forget. Still trying to repair themselves. They've got the drive somewhat working, but not overly convinced with their flipper. They've been getting help from other machines out in the pits, including High AF. And they've actually opted to switch places with Chaos 2 to help give them more time to repair. So Chaos 2 will be taking on the two newcomers later. Manhole Maurice, the articulate design, and touchy-feely looking rather Razor-esque in a way. We'll also have the return of Free Wave back again against two other newcomers in the forms of Megalodon and Mighty Mouse, who we have seen before in Battle of the YouTubers. And this is the first fight of the night. High AFC number 24, taking on Veterans, the alien from the Last Wars, and the newcomers to the series, Snowdozer. Let chaos begin! High AF Spinner. They made a death or glory in the Last Wars before crashing out on round 1 of the New Blood Championships. But in Battle of the YouTubers on the main channel, we saw just how deadly and effective the machine truly is, as it tore apart everyone it came into contact with, and showed an extremely deadly encounter with Mortis. The blade is terrifying and the speed is controllable, but the armor isn't all that tough, and the exposed wheels are very vulnerable. The alien Spinner. Back again from the Last Wars, the weapon didn't seem to be all that effective, and neither did... well, I can't actually say anything about the remake because we never got to see it. But the drive was fairly good. The armor wasn't great though, as it's mostly polycarbonate, and all the electronics are visible. Snowdozer. Axebot. Looks like the protege of the house robot Shunt almost when you take a deep look at it. A two-wheel drive box with a big front plow and double-sided pickaxe to strike down on the top of anyone they happen to be pushing, to which its pushing power is very strong. However, the wheels are very exposed, and not overly sure if the axe is capable of righting them. Kinda doubt it.
Robot ears, stand by.
Here we go for Heat C with 24th seed High AF and the spinning blade with the adjustable height. Didn't see that in the last series. Hope we get to see it this time. The alien back again with a spinning hammer bar and the self-righting mechanism. And Snowdozer with the front bulldozing plow and the big pickaxe on the back.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Great to see High AF back again, and a lot of pedigree expected as they bounce up into the air and slam into the angle grinder while Snowdozer climbs into the alien, and there's an attack from High AF, and the alien's gone out the arena! Well, that was very quick. That's the end of the alien right away, and now Snowdozer's immobilized! They've lost the tie to the wheel. Look at this though from High AF. All they did was cut the corner of the alien, and they've bounced out the arena and gone! That's them out! And now the other wheel's gone from Snowdozer! Well, we saw the power of... gone up and over now, and self-rights, I think. We saw the power of High AF in Battle of the YouTubers, where they were lethal, came runner-up due to poor driving on their part, truth be told. Well, a lot's expected from them, and they are living up to that potential. Poor Snowdozer, poor alien, they didn't even get much of a chance. Snowdozer caused problems for them. And now, for High AF to dispatch of Snowdozer towards the pit. Oh! And now they've gone up and over! And now, for the first time, using their adjustable weaponry system in an attempt to self-right. Snowdozer's being counted out. They are gone. Meanwhile, High AF trying to right themselves are seriously struggling. And I'm wondering if that could cause problems. No! They're back! They've righted! Well done! Bouncing around, not really able to probably back there. A spring attack and they're back. And I'm wondering if something's happened to the weapon. It has! They're bouncing about. I think their weapon's broken. The blade works. Yes. The adjustable? That's not a word. The adjustable system, however, is not. That's broken. As Snowdozer keeps firing their axe and down the pit. High AF, they may be through, but they've got serious repair works for them down in the pits as their weapon is completely broken. That's some serious repair work for them down in the pits, but well done, High AF, as they go through to the Gold Rumble. At least that's if they can get the machine repaired, with the alien crashing out into the bronze and Snowdozer into the silver. Next up, Free Wave, Megalodon, and Mighty Mouse. Free Wave Flipper. They've returned to the war zone with their CO2 Flipper for a third shot at the title and tough armor which even 13 Black couldn't cut through. The Flipper, as we've seen, adds comical flips with them flipping themselves out of the arena, as well as being a truly effective weapon. But in the last wars, they kept getting stuck on their backside with no way of coming back down. Have they fixed that this time around? Megalodon Lifter. A monstrous shark from the deepest depths of the ocean to munch down on everything that its mouth comes into contact with. And that's if it doesn't use its mouth to lift and overturn its opposition. The rear tail can also be used as an axe by spinning around on the spot, but the big exposed wheels provide two major issues. One being that they are exposed, and the other being that it gives a major ground clearance. Mighty Mouse Rambot. It may be the smallest machine in the competition, but its speed is not to be underestimated. It's quick and very agile. The front spikes help deal damage as it pushes against its opponents, while the rear circular saws slash into the armor of anyone they come into contact with, while the roll bar helps the machine right itself when thrown over. Which is actually really easy to do because they've had to sacrifice a lot of weight to add to its speed, so it's quite lightweight.
Roboteers, stand by.
Free Wave with the CO2 powered Flipper, Megalodon with the rear tail and the lifting gnawing jaws. Be interesting to see what that does here. And Mighty Mouse, the tiny machine in this fight and this whole competition, I think, with the front spikes and the rear circular saws.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Who will have the advantage? Free Wave trying to stay clear of Megalodon, but gets underneath Megalodon and fires the Flipper, and I think it's done something to Megalodon. Free Wave trying to right themselves, does so, and Megalodon flipped up into the air. Mighty Mouse is over, and Megalodon out the arena. They're gone. And now, well, Free Wave's up and over, and are they going to? Yes, they're going to flip themselves out the arena. That's glorious. Oh! And they flip themselves back into the arena. That's brilliant. So, they're back in the arena, and now, no, they've gone out. Oh, and Mighty Mouse is back up and over as well. Well, that was chaotic, wasn't it? All over in a matter of seconds. There's the flip out the arena for Free Wave by themselves, but their flip throws them back in, which is fantastic from that area. But then, of course, they fired it again and too far over, leaving Mighty Mouse the last spot standing. But Mighty Mouse were counted out and immobilized first, so they are in the Silver Rumble with Free Wave into the gold. Next up, 8 seeds Chaos 2, Manhole Maurice, and Touchy Feely. Chaos 2. Flipper. They've managed to make it back to the Warzone for Series 3, but have they fully repaired themselves after what happened against Endgame in the Vengeance last year? If they have, the CO2 Flipper will be throwing their oppositions over and out of the arena, and will be very difficult to catch due to its speed. But again, that's if they fully repaired themselves from the battering they took against Endgame. Manhole Maurice. Spinner. They may be new to the competition, but they have 2 famous victories under its belt from Battle of the YouTubers on the main channel, where they beat both Hypnodisc and Raze before falling to Firestorm. The only articulate machine in the competition, which is something you don't often see in robot combat. The front circular saw is not really the most effective, but can still do some damage. But their wheels are exposed, and as we saw in Battle of the YouTubers, they can't self-right. Touchy-feely. Crusher. This is the team's first ever machine, so they don't expect to do all that well, but they do think they'll have a fairly decent chance. A very low wedge leading up to the big crushing beak to drop down and crunch through the armor. Granted, it does look a bit like a Razor clone, except instead of 4 wheels it has 2 big exposed ones, and also unlike Razor, there's no Shremek.
Robot ears, stand by.
How compromised are the 8 seeds Chaos 2? Have they been able to fully repair themselves with the CO2-powered Flipper for this fight and other fights? We got Manhole Maurice, the articulate machine with the circular saw, newcomers. And the other newcomers, Touchy Feely, with the crushing beak.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Looks almost like a 2-wheel drive Razor does Touchy Feely as they come down on Manhole Maurice with the beak. Chaos 2 releasing the pit. They're not taking any unnecessary precautions. They're not fully convinced of how well they'll perform. So they're coming in, and down the pit goes Manhole Maurice, and Touchy Feely nearly had Chaos 2 in, but they're in the pit now. Touchy Feely in the pit. So Touchy Feely will be through to the Silver Rumble. Chaos 2 somehow managing to get through to the gold. They're happy with that. And Manhole Maurice will be in the bronze. Hang on a minute. Is Manhole Maurice... Yes! Manhole Maurice is out. I think with a little help of Touchy Feely. But how well is that going to help? Chaos 2 gets a flip. And another... Well, a mistimed flip, granted. But now Manhole Maurice back into the pit. I don't think there's anything else left to do, really. Yeah, seat is called. And just to recap, Manhole Maurice, they're into the bronze, Touchy Feely, they're into the silver, and it's Chaos 2 managing to scrape their way through to the gold rumble. Truth be told, only just. But there you have it. Chaos 2 into the gold rumble, scraping by. Manhole Maurice crashes into the bronze, Touchy Feely into the silver. So here are how our 3 rumbles look, with High AF, Free Wave, and Chaos 2 for the Gold Rumble. High AF has still actually been helping Chaos 2 down in the pits get the machine back in fighting order, so credit to High AF. That's great sportsmanship there. Snowdozer, Mighty Mouse, and Touchy Feely will be tussling it out in the Silver Rumble. Wonder who will be winning in that fight, that'll be interesting. But first up, the Bronze Rumble with the Alien, Megalodon, and Manhole Maurice.
Robot ears, stand by.
The Bronze Rumble with the Alien and the spinning hammer bar with the self-riding mechanism. Megalodon with the swinging tail and the lifting, gnawing jaws. And Manhole Maurice, the articulate machine, with the circular sword. This should be an interesting Bronze
3,
Rumble, I think.
2, 1. Activate.
Different designs in this fight, actually. And Megalodon, quite effective actually, as the Alien releases the pit and now comes in on the attack on Megalodon, but are now stuck on the lifting weapon of Megalodon, and are now flipped over. Well done, Megalodon, for throwing them up and over, but look at that! self-rating mechanism there from the alien. Look at this again. There's the flip from Megalodon. They've not been able to do that before. And there's the self-rating mechanism from the alien, which they've said is questionable. And you wonder why I'm saying we've never seen Megalodon flip a machine. It's because we have seen them before in the past in Battle of the YouTubers. They've never been able to properly flip a machine over. And what has happened to the alien that is standing in the middle of the floor? They're not moving. Is there something wrong? They're being counted out. And I think the alien is immobilized. So the alien's gone. And speaking of immobilized, I think there's a problem here with Megalodon as well. You can just see they're not driving in a straight line. They're having to squiggle around. I think they might have taken damage to one of their wheels. And is it me? Or did I just see a bit of smoke? Or was that a shadow? I am not sure, but look at this. Manhole Maurice now on the attack on Megalodon. Spinning, slicing as Megalodon tries getting away. How effective are they getting away? Not really effective, actually, come to think of it. Manhole Maurice, they are doing very well coming into this. They may be in a slight disadvantage almost because of how they're designed. And it's not the greatest, let's be real. And Megalodon, with their lifting weapon, which can also gnaw down, they're actually putting up quite the fight and are doing some pretty good damage and seem to be the only real machine left in this fight that can actually drive, well, properly. Well, as properly as you can as an articulate machine. Megalodon, again, you can just see them sort of trying to drive, but they're not in a fully straight line. I think there's a problem with their wheel, and speaking of problems, okay, no, it was just Manhole Maurice's wheel clipping with the wall. Lovely. Now, Manhole Maurice come back in on Megalodon, who are now driving into the corner, and once again, Manhole Maurice driving into that one beam, holding the wall in place. Might want to stop doing that, because that's causing a problem for your wheel. Speaking of, Manhole Maurice going for Megalodon's wheel, the only wheel that seems to still be moving. Their other wheel, their right wheel, doesn't seem to be properly working, and now the left wheel is gone. That's not moving anymore. Has Megalodon become immobilized? I think they have. The jaws still work. They're the only real threat to Manhole Maurice, truth be told. Let's be real here. But as threatening as they are, they don't really do anything when you are motionless, as they have been counted out and immobilized. And there you can see the grinding blade causing sparks to fly from the flipper. Well, I say it's a flipper, it's more like a lifter, really. But there, the sparks flung from the titanium lifting panel. They don't really have to do anything else, Manhole Maurice. They're through to the death or glory. Megalodon, they did put up a much better fight this time than they did against Mighty Mouse and Freewave. But it's Megalodon crashing out. And it's Manhole Maurice going through to the death or glory for a second chance at the cherry. And honestly, a great victory for Manhole Maurice. Out goes Megalodon, out goes the alien, both of whom I think just broke down of their own accord. The alien definitely did. Megalodon, did they break down of their own accord, or did they take a bit too much damage to the wheels? Probably a little bit of A and a little bit of B. But either way, Manhole Maurice goes through. Next up, the Silver Rumble with Snowdozer, Mighty Mouse, and Touchy Feely.
Roboteers, stand by.
The Silver Rumble now with the Bulldozer and Pickaxe of Snowdozer. Mighty Mouse with the ramming spikes and the rear circular saws. And Touchy Feely with the wedge and crushing beak.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Again, Mighty Mouse here because they were immobilized before Free Wave went out the arena, and look at this. Because of them, Touchy-Feely can get a good pincer attack on Snowdozer. They're free now, but are seriously in trouble here because the Mighty Mouse are stuck on top, and they can't get any purchase on the floor. And Touchy-Feely can come in again with the crushing beak to cause problems to Snowdozer, which they are doing, and Snowdozer stuck. And technically, you're kind of pinning them against the wall here, but at the same time, they're not really able to move away. The wheels are on the floor. Now Snowdozer can come in on the attack as Touchy-Feely comes in. Down goes the pit. Oh, look at this. Down goes Mighty Mouse. And down goes Touchy-Feely as well. That was great tactics there from Snowdozer. Down the pit goes both Mighty Mouse and Touchy-Feely as Snowdozer spins into light. And how well played that was. Well done to Snowdozer. They're through to the Death or Glory. A well-timed attack on the pit release button sees the end of Touchy-Feely and Mighty Mouse. A well-skillfully timed play by Snowdozer. It has to be said, I don't think either Mighty Mouse or Touchy-Feely saw that one coming. They probably should have gotten away quicker, but they didn't. They fall into the pit of oblivion and crash out. Snowdozer goes through to the Death or Glory. And it's now time for the Gold Rumble with 24th Seeds High AF, the flipper of Free Wave, and the somewhat compromised 8th Seeds Chaos 2. Have they fully repaired themselves now, I wonder?
Robot ears, stand by.
The Gold Rumble with High AF seed number 24 with the spinning blade, very, very lethal. Free Wave with the CO2 flipper, and the 8 seeds Chaos 2 with their CO2 flipper. Have they been able to add any more repairs to their machine since the last fight?
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Well, we'll see. And I just want to add that, that's Pod attempting that from Free Wave as they've flung themselves up and over, and off comes the flipper again! The flipper of Chaos 2's gone! Extremely quick as well! That's what happened in the Vengeance against Endgame. There, look! And it was almost like they just came in for a drop shot there, High AF. A great drop shot on Chaos 2, off comes the flipper, and I think even the mechanisms have come flying out. Now trying to sever the flipper of Free Wave, and you know what? The armor of Free Wave is actually standing up to the blade of High AF very well. Down the pit. So that's Free Wave down and out. And now High AF to deal with the, Chaos 2. If there's anything really left of Chaos 2. Is there, I wonder? Well, they're surprisingly still mobile. That's the thing about Chaos 2. We've seen it go up against spinners before in the past, and it surprisingly still managed to continue working. That is such a surprise. Smashing them into the ankle grinders. That's brilliant. Chaos 2 in serious trouble, and now I think are fully immobilized. And as I was trying to say before what happened with Free Wave earlier, High AF has been extremely sporting towards Chaos 2 as they now fling him into the pit. And that's the end. Into the pit goes Chaos 2. And it's Free Wave through to the Heat Final. Chaos 2 and Free Wave in to the Death or Glory. Chaos 2, you got lots of repairs. And again, credit towards High AF who agreed to help repair Chaos 2 to get them back in play. Everyone is, actually. And High AF even apologized for the amount of damage. And Chaos 2 were fine with it, because they knew they would struggle, and they didn't want High AF really holding back, so you gotta give them credit as well for wanting to put on a good display for the crowd. But this is our Death or Glory, or could be the Death or Glory. Manhole Maurice from the Bronze Rumble, Snowdozer from the Silver, and from the Gold Rumble, Free Wave, and maybe Chaos 2 if they are able to repair all the damage they just took.
Robot ears, stand by.
The articulate machine of Manhole Maurice with the circular saw, Snow Dozer with the pickaxe and the front bulldozing plow, Freewave for the CO2 flipper, and Chaos 2 with their flipper, the seed number 8, managed to repair themselves with help of High AF, who have been absolutely sportsmen throughout this entire heat, helping Chaos 2 with repairs, and even tried to be gentle. Actually asked if they wanted them to be gentle in the Cold Rumble, and Chaos 2 was like, nah, go for it! So that's why IF was being so brutal, and Chaos 2 gets a flip on Manhole Maurice. Meanwhile, Snow Dozer on the attack on Freewave, whose flipper's up. Chaos 2, another flip on Manhole Maurice. This time they've mistimed it, and now, speaking of mistimed, Freewave mistiming their flip, and now pinned against the wall, and their flipper is down, and because of that they won't be able to right themselves. So Freewave up and over and immobilized. Chaos 2, they don't seem as powerful as they have in the past, and that's mainly because they've been heavily compromised. They're not 100%, they haven't been 100%, but credit to them for managing to repair the machine enough to get back into this, as Snow Dozer now comes in, and Manhole Maurice. The flipper may work, but I don't think there's much of anything else. Truth be told, they're barely even moving, as Manhole Maurice slams in. And is something wrong with Snow Dozer? There seems to be a bit of problem with their drive, and Chaos 2, well, Chaos 2, they're somewhat moving, but they're not moving effectively, and I think are well and truly immobilized, and that's another famous victory for Manhole Maurice. Don't forget, in Battle of the YouTubers, they defeated Hypnodisc and Razor before falling to Firestorm. Manhole Maurice, it may be a strange design, but it's quite unique, and it does have some famous victories under its belt. Meanwhile, Snow Dozer trying to be effective with their axe and plow, but I think there's a problem with their left wheel. I don't think it's really working here. I think it's locked. There's drive problems for Snow Dozer. They don't really seem fully capable of moving outside of their circumference. They can drive in a big circle, but I think that's about it. They can only get out of the circumference if they reverse, but I don't think they have any real control.
Cease.
And cease is called. And I'm being told by the judges that because of the lack of mobility for Snow Dozer, they've been deemed immobilized. They are out. So, there you have it. Manhole Maurice goes through to the Heat Final. They have beaten Snow Dozer, Freewave, and Chaos 2. Which is another famous victory under Manhole Maurice's belt, which they already have over Hypnodisc and Razor from Battle of the YouTubers. Couldn't get the same thing with Firestorm. But that's quite the feat, as well as beating Freewave. Well, probably not as much beating Freewave, they can beat themselves, really. But Manhole Maurice goes through to the Heat Final to take on High AF. Oh dear. Well, I have a feeling I know how this is going to play out, but if Manhole Maurice wins, it'll be another famous victory under the belt, another upset. Can we get that?
Robot ears, stand by.
How's this for a heat final? 24th seed, High AF with the lethal spinning blade and the adjustable mechanism. And the newcomers, Manhole Maurice with the articulate design and circular soul.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
3 famous victories under Manhole Maurice's belt against Hypnodisc, Razor, and Chaos 2. But as I thought, they would take serious damage from the blade, and off comes a wheel. That was inevitable. They're exposed. They're heavily exposed. Off comes another wheel, and look at the armor panels coming off of Manhole Maurice. They're still able to drive. I don't know how effectively, though. I think IAF is just having a bit of fun here. Just tearing them apart. Out comes a motor of Manhole Maurice. And, well, this is the type of damage we expect. Off comes another wheel, and off comes the final wheel, and now the machine's been severed! The articulate machine completely split in half here! Look at this! There! Off they come! The machine separates from the two halves! If that isn't enough to tell you that Manhole Maurice is well and truly immobilized, then I honestly don't know what is. But look at all the bits and pieces of Manhole Maurice littering the floor as High AF pushes them, well, one piece to the pit. And now he's playing with the other, pinging around like it's on air hockey. That's brilliant. I love that. That's very entertaining. But it's Manhole Maurice taking major damage. And this has been very, very destructive for High AF. Probably not as destructive as we've seen in the past, but destructive enough as they very easily progress through to the series semi-finals with no real challenge here. They ended their heat in Battle of the YouTubers in an extremely destructive manner, and have done the same thing here. Manhole Maurice completely ripped apart. Is there anything even left of them? High AF goes through to the series semi-finals and appear to have what it takes to take home the trophy. But until then, take care, and I'll see you next time. Farewell.